Hello, welcome to This Day. I'm BJ Arnett, your host. Today is an interesting day in that I get to interview wonderful people every day, but sometimes you find yourself just clicking, and today I've clicked with everybody I've talked to, so it's just been like, okay, this is good. I think this was God's gift for BJ, and I'm going to receive it. The lady that I have before me now is the author of She's Unstoppable, and I'm going to put my little glasses on here, How I Got It Together After Everything Fell Apart. Here's why I particularly love that title, Miss Micah Bird, is because as women, you see I put my women voice, we are such fixers.
Yes.
We want to fix everything. Everything must move according to our agenda book.
Yeah.
And then God steps in and says, no, not really, boo. I got you.
You better check with me.
Check with me, okay? So, you know, she's unstoppable. How I got it together after everything fell apart. The first question I have is not what made you unstoppable. I know he did that.
Absolutely.
But what made you fall apart?
Just trying to fix everything, trying to have everything in this perfect box and not seeking him first. I'm so much more clear now knowing that anything that you want to accomplish, you need to go to him first. Like, you know, I can't just think that I'm superwoman and I can do it all.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I think we grow up thinking that if we do our studies, if we attend the right university, if we listen to our parents, and if we overcome those things that most women don't overcome, everything's going to work out fine. But you didn't get your instructions from the one who designed you.
Right.
So then we find ourselves in this awkward position of not, after we've done all these things that to the world make us unstoppable, there are all these stumbling blocks. The degree didn't make us feel great.
Right.
The marrying whomever didn't make us feel the greatest. There's that, all these things that putting our whole everything into someone else because we didn't do the first things first.
Yeah.
What did you find when you fell apart?
Oh, I found peace. I found where wisdom was, which is what I should have had prior to. This whole journey, writing the book, was really about me discovering the right path that he has for me. And so trying to travel that journey on what I thought would make sense allowed certain things to happen that I had to pull lessons out of. So I definitely found peace, and I'm so much more comfortable now knowing that it's okay to let all that go in front of, you know,
anybody.
Exactly. And I still have my womanhood, or I'm still as powerful as I was, or as I thought I was then, now.
Do you think that this is a moment that only women go through?
I can't speak for men, but I just think it's just more profound because we're emotional. We wear our feelings on our shoulder, and so, and we're in an era where women are dominating in so many particular fields, especially being business owners and trying to really be successful and stand on our own and be independent. But no, I don't honestly think that we're the only gender that go through this process. I just think we're more out with it.
As you grew up, did you have a relationship in your life that allowed you to see strength and power and resilience, that gave you the example that made you understand this is how I want to be, or this is who I should pattern myself after?
Absolutely. One would be my grandmother, who's passed away now, just really exemplified what I now recognize as being a woman of just tenacity and drive, and she prayed every day. You know, she made sure that prior to her getting any of her dealings done, that she honored him first. And so it was very important that I made sure I incorporate that in my life.
There are times in your life when the outside things, what I call the window dressing side of our lives, people exalt so much. But those gut things, those core things, the study and time with God and hearing, this is who I am, fearfully and wonderfully made. I am an overtaker of the marketplace. Those core things that make you live, that continue to pour into you and you are able to pour out to someone, people really don't think is a big deal.
Yeah, and you know, it can be like myself. You may lose that thinking that it's not a big deal, and then everything will fall apart. So you realize what's really key, what's important.
But you had a grandma who prayed in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who showed her resilience through showing her faithfulness to what God has said to her about her and how she went after God. But I think that so many families today don't have grandma nearby.
Yes.
So they miss the opportunity to glean that.
Yeah.
I still cherish the days of seeing my great-grandmother with her silver gray braid that reached to her hip.
Wow. Yeah.
At the sink, singing out the window and saying, "Thank you, Lord." And I'm like, who in the world is she talking to?
Exactly.
But now,
yeah, you doing it.
Girl, please, in the kitchen.
Me too.
Talking about, hey, thank you, Lord.
I know.
But she shared that with us. You know, our grandmas shared that tender time with us, some knowingly and some unknowingly.
Exactly. Some of the things my grandmother did, I see myself doing it. I literally, and I step back, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You know that thing, I have adult kids, and that thing where your kid's like, I'm never going to be like you. I want to be my own woman.
Yes.
So my oldest is now, she'll send little messages, I am turning into my mother. I'm like, girl, that's good.
Yes, yes, you're getting some sense.
Exactly,
You'll be all right.
exactly.
Yeah. And it's funny because I remember saying the very same thing myself. So I think it's generational. We just say it.
Absolutely.
We just say it. We take this pill that says, I must be my own person. And really, that is the bad pill. And until we come to ourselves and get the reality of, oh, I can actually be like someone whose greatness is from the core of them and reaches out to other people. Oh.
Yeah. I learned patience and how to be poised from my grandmother. And that is the one thing that
Not popular words these days.
That is one thing that has kept me rooted in everything that has transpired. Just being patient and poised. Like, you're absolutely right. Most people don't say that anymore. And it was, you know, you could still go through that situation and just have that assurance on your face, that confidence.
What was the transformation moment? How did you fall apart? What was the incident?
Well, there were multiple. So, because I wasn't a quick learner.
Ooh,
So I'll
speak.
say that.
Speak. Okay, my dad used to say to me, girl, pick a new rock
I
to
know.
bump your head against. And I would be like, really?
Don't you
But he
just
was
love
right.
the analogies that they
Yes.
use? Yeah, there were multiple situations that had me fall apart. But from each one of those, I learned a valuable lesson that God was always there to pick me up. Had I just seeked him out first, that all of this would have really not been maybe as bad as it possibly was. But however, the lesson was what I needed to know.
Right.
And what I needed to know is that even though going through those things, I'm still just as powerful now as I started out then. I've learned a lot. So it's like wine. You know, typically when wine is made, it's not, you don't want to drink it from the first pour.
Right.
You want to let that thing sit and age and go through whatever it does that.
Fermentation.
Thank you.
Yes, I had to think about it. What is it called? The fermentation.
Absolutely.
Because that's where its richness comes in.
Exactly. And so that's me.
So as you grow further in what God is speaking to you and the description that he has for you and all of us,
Yes.
as you grab a hold of it, you are fermenting, if you will.
Exactly. And she is not about me. Although my picture is there, she is about she being the woman. and learning how to walk those footsteps and really seek Him first prior to.
There's a statement here in your book, and you know, I'm very clear that there are things that you just need to stop and take a look at. It says she's unstoppable because there are times in her life when she feels she just can't keep going. Then she remembers all the other times she has made it through.
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes it's just about stepping back and remembering. My upbringing said is sometimes it's just repeating the testimony back to yourself of what has already been great.
Yeah, like you have to reaffirm and confirm that He's already done it. Like, why would you worry? Why would you doubt? And that happens when there are so many other voices and so many other things that are going on that it's hard to really hear clear. And trust me, I've been there, and some days I'm still there. So, but when I step back and really make sure that I've cleared all of that stuff out of the way, I hear so clearly that it's not confusing, which He's not.
No, He's not.
And it just flows easily. I just told my friend today, like, in the book, I have a chapter called She's Organized. And normally, Miss BJ, I'm very organized, but if you saw my closet today, you'd be like, did she write that book?
So, some days it's just not clicking. But don't you have to have some days that you simply recognize your humanity, if you will, and forgive yourself through it? And I really like this statement, because then you need to go back and say, but last week I was slamming on that. So I know tomorrow I'll be slamming on it again. It's going to be okay. So you can't let incidents in your life be the description of who you are, or what you are, or what you're called to be.
I agree wholeheartedly. It is the overall picture, and,
it's the overall
and not
picture.
the one incident.
As you go forward in promoting this book and meeting women, because sometimes we will tell everything to each other, and then other times we're very guarded, and we're just, you know, this never happened to me. I've never had a meltdown.
Oh,
I have.
You ask me,
Look,
I promise you, I'll tell you.
Yeah, no, I'm like, no, let me tell you what a meltdown looks like.
Exactly.
And let me tell you why it occurs. What are some of the things that you would share with other women, other people, that really will give us an understanding of the quick and fast and simple way to get it right?
Good question. I have multiple things, but the first thing I would share with women is don't get so caught up into accessing the success train, whatever that looks like to you, because I got caught up, and what happened is I got further away from the true purpose. And this would be an example of the true purpose. Like things that are supposed to happen so seamlessly, like you're like, oh my God, how did I get here? So,
but that's when you know.
Yes.
That's when you know. You have two things in here, and I'm running out of time, but you have two things that I want to bring up. Journaling and set purposeful goals.
Yes.
If you don't do anything else, you need to write yourself a note at night and in the morning, so that you are journaling your experience, the growth, the pattern in which God's got you on, because it's a good pattern.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you for being with us, Micah Bird. You are at micahbird.com. You can be reached, and lots of folks will pick up this book, because she is unstoppable. How to get it together after everything has fallen apart. So if you feel like things have fallen apart in your life, don't even worry about it. Go back in your memory and think about yesterday, the day before, last year, all the wonderful things that you've been so great at. They're here for you today. It's only waiting for you. God bless.